What's going on there, my superstar scholars? What we're going to do right now is we're going to have a little read aloud called Wemberly Worried by Kevin Henkes. Now, Wemberly Worried is all about this little mouse named Wemberly. And we can tell right by the title that one thing that she does a lot is worry. All right, so she's worrying all the time. Now, one thing that we can do as readers when we're reading a story is we want to put ourselves in the shoes of the characters. What that means is imagine you're that character. How would you be feeling? Can you relate to what these characters are feeling? So while we're listening to this story, what I really want you to think about, if you were Wemberly, how would you be feeling? All right, if you were Wemberly, how would you be feeling? And how does Wemberly change? Does she change? What caused her to change? These are all things I want you to think about while we're listening to this story called Wemberly Worried.
But the one thing that she was most worried about was her very first day at school. Wemberly Worried by Kevin Henkes. Wemberly worried about everything. Big things.
I wanted to make sure you were still here.
Little things. And things in between.
Mama, what if I shrink?
Wemberly worried in the morning. She worried at night. And she worried throughout the day. You worry too much, said her mother.
When you worry, I worry,
said her father. Worry, 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 said her grandmother. Too much worry. At home, Wemberly worried about the tree in the front yard.
What if it falls on our house?
And the crack in the living room wall.
What if it gets bigger and something comes out of it?
And the noise the radiators made.
What if there's a snake inside?
At the playground, Wemberly worried about the chains on the swings and the bolts on the slide and the bars on the jungle gym.
Too rusty, too loose, too high.
And always, she worried about her doll, Petal.
Shouldn't Petal have a car seat too? Petal's lost forever.
I found her, sweetie.
I'll wait for you, Petal.
Don't worry, said her mother.
don't worry,
Said her father. But Wemberly worried. She worried and worried and worried. When Wemberly was especially worried, she rubbed Petal's ears. Wemberly worried that if she didn't stop worrying, Petal would have no ears left at all. On her birthday, Wemberly worried that no one would come to her party. See, said her mother, there was nothing to worry about. But then Wemberly worried that there wouldn't be enough cake. This is the best present ever.
I wish I had my birthday today.
On Halloween, Wemberly worried that there would be too many butterflies in the neighborhood parade.
see,
Said her father.
there is nothing to worry about.
Then Wemberly worried because she was the only one. You worry too much, said her mother.
When you worry, I worry.
Said her father. Worry, 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 said her grandmother. Too much worry. Soon, Wemberly had a new worry. School.
So one thing that we see here, boys and girls, is we always want to be thinking about the story. So we want to be thinking about the characters. And who are the main characters right now? We know that Wemberly is the main character. And then the supporting characters, you have mom, dad, and grandma. And we want to think about their personality traits. So Wemberly, she's worrying a lot. And I think that a lot of us can understand that. Now, she might worry about some things that we don't worry about. We might not worry about a crack in the wall or a bolt on the swing set, but we can understand about what it feels like to be nervous about certain things, right? So think about right now, is she's getting ready to go to school. How is this going to affect Wemberly? Think about your first day. Were you nervous at all? Were you a little bit worried? All right, I know I was a little bit worried. I'm always a little bit nervous on that first day of school. You don't know who's going to be all in your class. You're worried that everything's going to go right. I told you that I was worried that the alarm clock wasn't going to go off. So I definitely understand some of the worries that Wemberly has. But let's see what happens. Let's see what happens to Wemberly while she's at school.
Wemberly worried about the start of school more than anything she had ever worried about before.
I love school.
By the time the first day arrived, Wemberly had a long list of worries.
What if no one else has fun? What if no one else wears stripes? What if no one else brings a dog?
What if the teacher
What
is
if the
mean?
room smells bad? What if they make fun of my name? What if I can't find the bathroom? What if I hate the snack? What if I have to cry?
Don't worry, said her mother.
Don't worry.
Said her father. But Wemberly worried. She worried and worried and worried. She worried all the way there.
Not home.
While Wemberly's parents talked to the teacher, Mrs. Peachum, Wemberly looked around the room. Then Mrs. Peachum said, Wemberly, there is someone I think you should meet. Her name was Jewel. She was standing by herself. She was wearing stripes. She was holding a doll. At first, Wemberly and Jewel just peeked at each other.
This is Paddle,
Said Wemberly.
This is Nimlet.
Said Jewel. Paddle waved. Niblet waved back.
Hi.
Said Paddle.
Hi.
Said Niblet.
I rub her ears.
Said Wemberly.
I rub her nose.
Said Jewel. Throughout the morning, Wemberly and Jewel sat side by side and played together whenever they could. Petal and Niblet sat side by side too. Wemberly worried, but no more than usual. And sometimes even less. Before Wemberly knew it, it was time to go home. Come back tomorrow, called Mrs. Peachum as the students walked out the door. Wemberly turned and smiled and waved.
I will.
She said,
Don't worry.
So, what happened at the end of the story? Was Wemberly still worrying? She was a little bit, right? She was still worrying because that was part of who she was. But something changed, all right? Something made her feel more comfortable, so much so she couldn't wait to go back to school. And what was that? You tell me, what was that right now? It was Jewel, right? It was a friend, that power of friendship. And I think Wemberly helped out Jewel too, because Jewel was pretty nervous as well. So this story, it really focused on Wemberly and her worries. And it's something that we could all relate to. All right. We can always relate to being nervous and to being afraid of certain things. But it also showed us the power of friendship. So I want you guys to really think, how can I be a good friend? Because we never know when somebody else out there is worrying, and we may be able to make a difference for them. All right. Sometimes they show it, sometimes they don't. But being a good friend, being a good listener, inviting others to play with you, talk with you. All right. Reaching out, making them a card. These are all small things that we can do to be a good friend, to help other people out. And also, it's all right if we worry. It's all right if you're nervous. We all feel, and it doesn't matter how old you get. Mr. Martin still gets nervous a little bit. So, but we're here for each other, the superstar scholars, the best class out there. And that, my friends, is Wemberly Worry. I will talk to you later. Have a great day, guys. Bye.